Good morning, my friends. How's everybody doing? It's a gorgeous, gorgeous August morning out here, and I'm out nice and early before the heat of the day hits. And I've just got Chickpea and Ollie with me today because my wife Chris is out running Penny, also trying to avoid the heat of the day. And today I think I want to talk to you about some opinions and attitudes that have shifted for me about dog training. Just as a person, I think it's very important for me to grow, and growth means challenging your ideas and changing your opinions, and that can be very difficult to admit that you were maybe wrong on something, or that maybe your viewpoint has shifted and now you need to make a change in your life. But I think that all of my clients would appreciate that that's who I am, because that means I'm always getting better as a dog trainer, right? And that's important. I always want to give my clients the best training that I can, and that means learning and shifting what I do and adjusting. Now, a couple things I want to talk about today. Sorry about that barking dog. Does that annoy all of you? All the barking dogs when you're out walking your dogs in the neighborhood, does that annoy you? Because it annoys me. And I'm not trying to tell people how to live with their dogs, but that's a nuisance, and there's a reason why there is a barking bylaw in this city, because even the city realizes that barking dogs can be a nuisance and can really affect the quality of life for your neighbors. My apologies for all the edits and breaks in the video, but this is actually the 9th time. Yeah, that's for real. This is the 9th try I've made at this video. It's garbage day, people keep coming by, somebody started talking to me, and I was like, can you not see I'm being a weirdo with a camera in front of me and I'm just talking into thin air? I like to do my videos out here. I mean, sometimes I do them in my backyard, but it just seems boring, and I like to do them when I'm out on the walk, but that also means that there's all sorts of stuff going on. Now, if you look back in my videos, way back, you'll see that I had trained my dogs to walk off leash with e-collars on. Right? If my dogs are going to be physically off of a leash, I've got e-collars on them, so I always have control. But the leash bylaw does not say have your dog on a leash unless they're trained on an e-collar, right? There's a leash law in place. There's a leash law in place all over North America, because every city knows that off-leash dogs will create problems for each other, for their owners, right? And the leash is there to prevent fights and dogs from just coming over and all that kind of stuff. And I used to be part of that problem. And then when I moved to my new neighborhood, I would see certain people walking their dogs off leash. And mind you, they clearly didn't have control. Their dog was running up onto people's front lawns and their porch and just doing whatever they want. And I guess they assumed because their dog just run away from them that their dog is somehow trained to be off a leash. And I had a number of encounters with people like that. And it became very frustrating, and I realized that I'm just as much a part of that problem if I walk my dogs off leash. And I also realized that when I see somebody and their dog's off leash, I get immediate anxiety, because I think, what's going to happen here? And then I realized if people see me with my dog off leash, they don't know I'm a dog trainer, so they probably have the exact same anxious response, like, oh shit, what is going to happen here? So that was the day I stopped. I just stopped that day. I said, I'm part of this problem. I'm in the wrong, and this can't continue. So I started leashing my dogs up. And mind you, I just put the leash in my pocket. Even my wife, she's had a number of issues when she's been running Penny, and she runs Penny on an e-collar off leash, but she's had a number of issues out there with other dogs and owners. So even she runs with a waist leash now, because we've shifted our attitudes, right? We saw the writing on the wall. We realized we were part of this problem. And I was cocky because I was a dog trainer. I thought like I was above all of this. Like, I've got trained dogs, don't you understand? But that's not how the law works. It doesn't say you can have your dog off leash if they're trained. Now, if I go by a park and you've got your dog off leash and you're playing fetch and your dog does not bother me and my dogs, I don't care. I'm all in. Enjoy it. Take your dog off leash. So I'm not trying to police the world and, pick on everybody for every little infraction. But what I'm saying is, that is going to produce stress for some other people. And the number one complaint I get from all dog owners that I work with, the number one by so far, is off-leash dogs and the problems they've created. Because every owner I've ever worked with has some sort of bad story about an encounter with an off-leash dog. And I'll share one with you from 3 weeks ago. Off-leash dog running down the street, owners screaming, he's friendly, and the dog got to us and attacked Chickpea. And I didn't it wasn't like an attack. The dog jumped on Chickpea's back, and I didn't see a bite happen. I grabbed the dog right away off of Chickpea. And then as I walked down the street, I realized there's a puncture in the back of her head. And at this point, these owners are gone. There's no recourse. There's nothing I'm going to do. My dog's injured. I can't find these people. And every time something like this happens, and believe me, this has happened enough, every time this happens, it builds a little bit of resentment towards other dog owners. These are the very people I'm trying to help. I'm in this business to help you, the dog owners. And you're creating a lot of headaches for me, and I'm starting to dislike a lot of you, which is not good as a dog trainer, man. But a lot of you are irresponsible, and your irresponsible behavior causes a lot of problems for the rest of us that are trying to be responsible. And we're just asking for a little consideration. And like I said, I too have been part of the problem in the past. I too have had my dog off leash, but my dogs were trained and never caused a problem for another person, another dog owner. But just realizing that I might be causing some stress was enough for me to change my behavior. And that's really all I'm trying to do today, is point out some facts so maybe some of you reconsider your behavior and think, maybe that is stressing somebody out. Maybe that's not the right choice, right? Just because you can do something with your dog doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do with your dog. My apologies, everyone. I feel like this has been a really crappy video today. Part of the reason is, like I said, I had to restart this video so many times. It's garbage day. I was right in the middle of making a point, and the garbage truck came ripping by and discombobulated everything. My apologies again. Just as I was walking by the gas station here, a guy came out and he was giving me a dirty look because I had the camera on. And I get it, he doesn't want to be on my video. And now I'm stuck on a busy street trying to talk to you guys. So my apologies for this video, but I've said this before in the past, that like when you're trying to make a video outside in this environment, it's very tricky, man. There's a lot of stuff going on that'll interrupt your video, but I just feel like standing in my backyard making a video, like I've seen other dog trainers do over and over again, is super friggin' boring. I don't want to be that. Anyway, the long and short of it is, it really, I guess my attitude that I was talking about is really around taking your dog off leash, and that's where my attitude has shifted. And it's just because it causes so much stress, even if there's no negative interaction. The stress that I feel when I see a dog off leash, and I think, is this going to be a problem? And I think that because it has been a problem. Just 3 weeks ago, Chickpea got bit. So it is a problem. And that just reinforces that there is the potential for a fight, a bite, a problem, whenever dogs are off leash and out of control. And the bigger point I'm trying to make is that, you know, if as you go through life, if your attitude changes, then change along with that. If you get new evidence of something and it requires a change, then change. I have changed some of my dog training techniques. I've changed the way I use certain tools because better techniques have come out. Evidence has come out that there's a better way to use this, or a better way to do this, or a better way to work on leash reactivity. And when this stuff comes out, I try it. I experiment. I develop better techniques, and I become better as a dog trainer. And as that occurs, my attitudes about all sorts of things in dog training and the dog training world change. And I owe it to you and my clients to adjust my training, to adjust my opinions, and always give you the best that I can. So just consider when you take your dog off leash that it may be causing some undue stress to other people. Just keep that in mind. Anyway, sorry about this broken, disjointed video. I did my best today. Anyway, hopefully you have a great summer with your dog, and I'll see you in the next video.